In my defenselessness, my safety lies. 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 Hello, thank you all so much for joining me today and studying A Course in Miracles workbook for students. We're reading from the original edition here on Friday, June the 2nd of 2023, lesson 153. This one is a major reversal of the way the world thinks. In my defenselessness, my safety lies. You who feel threatened by this changing world, its twists of fortune and its bitter jests, its brief relationships and all the gifts it merely lends to take away again, attend this lesson well. The world provides no safety. It is rooted in attack, and all its gifts of seeming safety are illusory deceptions. It attacks and then attacks again. No peace of mind is possible where danger threatens thus. The world gives rise but to defensiveness, for threat brings anger, anger makes attack seem reasonable, honestly provoked, and righteous in the name of self-defense. Yet is defensiveness a double threat, for it attests to weakness and sets up a system of defense that cannot work. Now are the weak still further undermined, for there is treachery without, and still a greater treachery within. The mind is now confused and knows not where to turn to find escape from its imaginings. It is as if a circle held it fast when another circle bound it, and another in that one, until escape no longer can be hoped for nor obtained. Attack, defense, defense, attack becomes the circles of the hours and the days that bind the mind in heavy bands of steel with iron overlaid, returning but to start again. There seems to be no break nor ending in the ever-tightening grip of imprisonment upon the mind. Defenses are the costliest of all the prices which the ego would exact. In them lies madness in a form so grim that hope of sanity seems but to be an idle dream beyond the possible. The sense of threat the world encourages is so much deeper and so far beyond the frenzy and intensity of which you can conceive that you have no idea of all the devastation it has wrought. You are its slave. You know not what you do in fear of it. You do not understand how much you have been made to sacrifice who feel its iron grip upon your heart. You do not realize what you have done to sabotage the holy peace of God by your defensiveness. You do not realize what you have done to sabotage the holy peace of God by your defensiveness. For you behold the Son of God as but a victim to attack by fantasies, by dreams, and by illusions he has made. Yet helpless he is in their presence, needful only of defense by still more fantasies and dreams, by which illusions of his safety comfort him. Illusions of his safety comfort him. Defensiveness is strength. It testifies to recognition of the Christ in you. Defensiveness is strength. It testifies to the recognition of the Christ in you. Perhaps you will recall the Course maintains that choice is always made between His strength and your own weakness seen apart from Him. Defenselessness can never be attacked because it recognizes strength so great, attack is folly, or a silly game a tired child might play when he becomes too sleepy to remember what he is. Defensiveness is weakness. It proclaims you have denied the Christ and come to fear His Father's anger. What can save you now from your delusion of an angry God whose fearful image you believe you see at work in all the evils of the world. What but illusions could defend you now, when it is but illusions which you fight? We will not play such childish games today, for our true purpose is to save the world, and we would not exchange for foolishness the endless joy our function offers us. We would not let our happiness slip by because a senseless fragment of a dream happened to cross our minds, and we mistook the figures in it for the Son of God, its tiny instant for eternity. We look past dreams today and recognize that we need no defense because we are created unassailable, without all thought or wish or dream in which attack has any meaning. Now we cannot fear, for we have left all fearful thoughts behind. We've left all fearful thoughts behind. And in defenselessness we stand secure. In defenselessness we stand secure, serenely certain of our safety now, sure of salvation, sure we will fulfill our chosen purpose as our ministry extends its holy blessing through the world. Be still a moment, and in silence think how holy is your purpose, how secure your rest, untouchable within its light. God's ministers have chosen that the truth be with them. Who is holier than they? Who could be sure that his happiness is fully guaranteed? And who could be more mightily protected? What defense could possibly be needed by the ones who are among the chosen ones of God, by God's election and their own as well? Our wills are one with God's. It is the function of God's ministers to help their brothers choose as they have done. God has elected all, but few have come to realize his will is but their own. God has elected all, but few have come to realize his will is but their own. And while you fail to teach what you have learned, salvation waits and darkness holds the world in grim imprisonment. Nor will you learn that light has come to you and your escape has been accomplished. For you will not see the light until you offer it to all your brothers. You will not see the light until you have offered it to all your brothers. You will not see the light until you offer it to all your brothers. As they take it from your hands, so will you recognize it as your own. Salvation can be thought of as a game that happy children play. Salvation can be thought of as a game that happy children play. It was designed by one who loves his children and who would replace their fearful toys with joyous games, which teach them that their game of fear is gone. His game instructs in happiness, because there is no loser. His game instructs in happiness, because there is no loser. Everyone who plays must win. Everyone who plays must win. And in his winning is the gain to everyone insured. The game of fear is gladly laid aside when children come to see the benefits salvation brings. You who have played that you are you who have played that you are lost to hope, abandoned by your Father, left alone in terror in a fearful world made mad by sin and guilt, be happy now. The game is over. Now a quiet time has come in which we put away the toys of guilt and lock our quaint and childish thoughts of sin forever from the pure and holy minds of heaven's children and the Son of God. We pause but for a moment more to play our final happy game upon the earth, and then we go to take our rightful place where truth abides and games are meaningless. So is the story ended. And so is the story ended. Let this day bring that last chapter closer to the world, that everyone may learn the tales he reads of terrifying destiny, defeat of all his hopes, his pitiful defense against a vengeance he cannot escape, were but his own deluded fantasy. God's ministers have come to waken him from the dark dreams this story has evoked in his confused, bewildered memory of this distorted tale. God's Son can smile at last on learning that it is not true. God's Son can smile at last on learning that it is not true. Today we practice in a form we will maintain for quite a while. We will begin each day by giving our attention to the daily thought as long as possible. 5 minutes now becomes the least we give to preparation for a day in which salvation is the only goal we have. 10 would be better, 15 better still. And as distraction ceases to arise to turn us from our purpose, we will find that half an hour is too short a time to spend with God. Nor will we willingly give less at night in gratitude and joy. So he said we're going to be practicing this for quite a while. Pretty much this is how he wants you to live your life now, is take at least 5 minutes every morning and more if you can. Each hour adds to our increasing peace as we remember to be faithful to the will we share with God. At times, perhaps a minute, even less, will be the most that we can offer as the hour strikes. Sometimes we will forget. At other times, the busyness of the world will close on us and we will be unable to withdraw a little while and turn our thoughts to God. So every hour we're going to have, as the hour strikes, he says, try to turn your thoughts to God. And sometimes just for a moment, a minute, sometimes longer, or maybe sometimes even less than a minute, he says. Yet when we can, we will observe our trust as ministers of God in hourly remembrance of our mission and his love. And we will quietly sit by and wait on him and listen to his voice and learn what he would have us do the hour that is yet to come, while thanking him for all the gifts he gave us in the one gone by. So we're going to pause for a little bit and thank him for the things that have happened in the hour already gone by and ask him what we're to do in the hour coming up. In time, with patience, you will never cease to think of him and hear his loving voice guiding your footsteps into quiet ways where you will walk in true defenselessness, for you will know that heaven goes with you. Nor would you keep your mind away from him a moment, even though your time is spent in offering salvation to the world. Think you he will not make this possible for you who choose to carry out his plan for the salvation of the world and yours? Today our theme is our defenselessness. We clothe ourselves in it as we prepare to meet the day. We rise up strong in Christ and let our weakness disappear. As we remember that his strength abides in us, we will remind ourselves that he remains beside us through the day and never leaves our weakness unsupported by his strength. We call upon his strength each time we feel the threat of our defenses undermine our certainty of purpose. We will pause a moment as he tells us, I am here. Your practicing will now begin to take the earnestness of love to help you keep your mind from wandering from its intent. Be not afraid nor timid. There can be no doubt that you will reach your final goal. The ministers of God can never fail because the love and strength and peace that shines from them to all their brothers comes from God, comes from him. These are his gifts to you. Defenselessness is all you need. Defenselessness is all you need to give him in return. You lay aside but what was never real to look on Christ and see his sinlessness. Defenselessness is all you need to give him in return. You lay aside but what was never real. Defenses, they were never real. You lay aside but what was never real to look on Christ and see his sinlessness. Okay, well, that was a little longer reading, but didn't you get a lot out of that? What a reversal of the world's thinking. Okay, let's go take a look in our text reading. Forgiveness, we're in chapter 16, the forgiveness of illusions, and we're ready for Section 6, Specialness and Guilt. While you're turning there, what on earth is going on today? American Indian Citizenship Day. That happened. Congress declared that all Native Americans born in the United States were citizens on June the 2nd, 1924. Hug an Atheist Day. Hug Everyone Day. Love Everyone Day, you might say. Give them a hug in your heart. I Love My Dentist Day. We do appreciate our dentists. International Sex Workers Day. National Bubba Day. National Donut Day. National Gun Violence Awareness Day. National Leave the Office Early Day. National Rocky Road Ice Cream Day. And National Rotisserie Chicken Day. Yell Fudge at the Cobras in North America Day. And that's all come, and I give thanks to holidaysandobservances.com for those things. Let's take a look in ediblelandscaping.com at the goji berry. A goji berry. And I failed to look at the genus and species of gojis, which you'll definitely want to know what they are. It's the one I'm going to read to you today is the Phoenix Tears goji berry. There will be in the description below the details that I'm reading to you, along with the genus and species. And the Phoenix Tears goji berry, the rave of the health food industry. The goji hails from China. A vining shrub up to 3 to 6 foot tall. Fruits ripen throughout summer. Best to prune to a bush form. Hardy to -10 degrees Fahrenheit. Plant in full to partial sun with good soil drainage. Some extra lime to keep the pH up to about 7 keeps goji plants happy. Our self-fertile variety is a seedling selected in Phoenix, Arizona. The seeds originated from plants grown in Ningxia Province, China, a main exporter of dried goji berries. Space 6-foot circles on trellis. Zones 5 through 9. So all through the Ozarks, it'll do just fine. And rather than a near-death experience day, let me just tell you about a song that was a favorite of my brother's the last few weeks before he made his crossing. And he found a lot of inspiration. I don't know who the Avett brothers are, but they have a song called Murder in the City. And I'll have the description how to reach that on YouTube in the description below also. So I'd encourage you to listen to it. Good song. Specialness and Guilt. In looking at the special relationship, it is necessary first to realize that it involves a great amount of pain. Anxiety, despair, guilt, and attack all enter into it, broken into by periods in which they seem to be gone. All these must be understood for what they are. Whatever form they take, they are always an attack on the self to make the other guilty. We've spoken of this before, but there are some aspects of what is really being attempted that we have not touched upon. 44. Very simply, the attempt to make guilty is always directed against God. The attempt to make guilty is always directed against God. For the ego would have you see him and him alone as guilty, leaving the sonship open to attack and unprotected from it. The special love relationship is the ego's chief weapon for keeping you from heaven. It does not appear to be a weapon, but if you consider how you value it and why, you will realize what it must be. The special love relationship. The special love relationship. He's going to talk a lot about this in these next few pages. The special love relationship is the ego's most boasted gift, and one which has the most appeal to those unwilling to relinquish guilt. Catch that? The special love relationship is the ego's most boasted gift, and one which has the most appeal to those unwilling to relinquish guilt. The dynamics of the ego are clearest here, for counting on the attraction of this offering, The fantasies which center around it are often quite open. Here they are usually judged to be acceptable and even natural. No one considers it bizarre to love and hate together, and even those who believe that hate is sin merely feel guilty and do not correct it. 45. This is the, in quotes, natural condition of the separation. And those who learn that it is not natural at all seem to be the unnatural ones. This is the natural condition of the separation, to love and hate at the same time, to see sin and to feel guilty. This is the natural condition of the separation, and those who learn that it is not natural at all seem to be the unnatural ones. Remember, we're living in an upside-down world. For this world is the opposite of heaven, being made to be its opposite, and everything here takes a direction exactly opposite of what is true. In heaven, where the meaning of love is known, love is the same as union. In heaven, where the meaning of love is known, love is the same as union. That's why we want to have a thought of union, not a thought of separation and guilt. Here, where the illusion of love is accepted in love's place, love is perceived as separation and exclusion. 46. It is in the special relationship born of the hidden wish for special love from God that the ego's hatred triumphs. Again on that. It is the special relationship born of the hidden wish for special love from God that the ego's hatred triumphs. Special love from God is where the ego's hatred triumphs, in the special love relationship. For the special relationship is the renunciation of the love of God and the attempt to secure for the self the specialness which he denied. It is essential to the preservation of the ego that you believe this specialness is not hell but heaven. For the ego would never have you see that separation can only be loss, being the one condition in which heaven cannot be. 47. To everyone heaven is completion. There can be no disagreement on this, because both the ego and the Holy Spirit accept it. They are, however, in complete disagreement on what completion is and how it is accomplished. The Holy Spirit knows that completion lies first in union and then in the extension of union. To the ego, completion lies in triumph and in the extension of the victory, in quotes, even to the final triumph over God. In this it sees the ultimate freedom of the self, for nothing would remain to interfere with it. This is its idea of heaven. From this it follows that union, which is a condition in which the ego cannot interfere, must be hell. 48. The special relationship is a strange and unnatural ego device for joining hell and heaven and making them indistinguishable. And the attempt to find the imagined best of both worlds has merely led to fantasies of both and to the inability to perceive either one as it is. The special relationship is the triumph of this confusion. It is a kind of union from which union is excluded, and the basis for the attempt at union rests on exclusion. What better example could there be of the ego's maxim, seek but do not find? And I think we're going to go ahead and stop there. And the word best in that paragraph was in quotes. And I a lot of times don't read the quote. So keep in mind, my encouragement is if you're one of the students that really wants to get this, have your book open and read along, or at least pick it up and read afterwards, or read again and again and again, and get to see the print and get it into your mind, or listen to it repeatedly if for some reason you can't read. But if it's your first time through and you're just trying to kind of see whether you really like these ideas, well, just listen to it and enjoy it. Even to you, I'd encourage you to look at the book, but certainly I'm just glad you're coming along to to look at it. Thank you for joining me, all of you. I don't even think I said at the beginning, I'm Willie from the Ozarks, and I just love to share this message, this book. Okay, and let's sing. Remember, we're gonna do 2 5-minute at least, up to as long as you want, practices. And then every hour, bring it to memory, asking God what to do for the next hour that's coming up, and give Him thanks for things that He's given in the hour gone by. In my defenselessness, my safety lies. 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 Thank you all so much for joining me. And until tomorrow, do the best you can at telling yourself every hour, in my defenselessness, my safety lies. And then take 5, 10, 15. I'd encourage you to take 15. If you just want a number, want me to tell you what to take 15. Anyway, but take whatever feels good with you. Don't feel coerced. In my defenselessness, my safety lies. What a huge thought reversal from the world. Because what this shows is that you really are trusting that God's in charge, that nothing can come to you but what that God allows it. And if God allows it, bring it on. In my defenselessness, my safety lies.